Surprised that Butch has lived this long.
I'm maybe the only one that's not, and only because Bruno told me early on. He said Butch is around for a while. He's a character that people are going to underestimate till it's too late, and he's a survivor. He's grown up in the streets of Gotham. He knows all the nooks and crannies. He knows all the buttons to push, and that's why I think he's been able to survive working for all these different people. First Fish Mooney, then he works with Penguin. Now he's Barbara and Tabitha. Like he knows how to keep his head, as it were. So I think a lot of people might be surprised, but I am not.
Speaking of Tabitha, Butch and she have a very sort of sweet dynamic, a little bitter, but
yeah,
mostly
for
sweet.
sure.
And there's a lot of off-screen development that goes into that. So can you tease any upcoming scenes, either with Tabitha or Barbara, that develop that?
Yeah, that's really the whole back half of this season, at least from my character standpoint, is all about that relationship and Butch trying to show Tabby that Barbara is no good for her and doesn't care about her. That Butch is the one that would lay his life on the line for her, and I think Tabitha, it's hard for her to see that, and so it really culminates in the season finale. So I think fans of that relationship, of the Butchie Tabs relationship, it's going to be a lot of stuff for them to get a hold of.
Butch is usually working kind of under somebody, but I'd love to see him have more power. Is that something that we're going to see?
It's funny because he had that moment where he was the king of Gotham, and I thought it was kind of cool how the writers kind of made him realize that he didn't really like it. He's much more comfortable working in the shadows, not being the one with wearing the crown. And I think that's the other part that I loved about the Butch and Tabitha relationship, because I feel like she's the same way. She works in the shadows. She works. She doesn't want to be the point person. She works better, as an offsider. And so the two of them connected in that way. And so I think that holds true. Butch has survived this long because he hasn't really had the desire to wear the crown. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I think we can all appreciate that on some level. Yeah.
Gotham has such a large cast. Is there anybody that you wish you could work with more?
I got to tell you, when people talk about this show and they talk about what you like about it, and there's all of the obvious answers: the comic book world, getting to wear these fancy suits and shoot these amazing weapons and have all this fun, this comic book fun. But I think what it comes down to for me, the real X factor in this job is working with people that you like so much. When we're all in a scene together, and we've had a few of those, particularly towards the end of the season, the stuff we're doing off set is just as fun and entertaining as the stuff we're doing on set. And that just, I think for anybody's work environment, if you like the people you work with and you have a good relationship and a good time and there's mutual respect, that just makes everything so much easier. And so to have your dream job, on a show that is so much fun in the Batman world and be working with all these great people, this is like as good as it gets. So the only problem is we're setting ourselves up for failure. Whatever job we all go on to next, it's going to be a little bit of a letdown. So.
Given that you don't have a comic book destiny to live up to, or to, fail to live up to, where is it that you would like to see Butch end up, if you could just write it?
I don't know where I want him to end up, but what I would like to see is kind of more about where Butch came from. Like, who is this guy really? You get little glimpses of it here and there, but for the most part, his backstory is pretty much unknown. Like, he has this random nephew, Sonny, and he talks a little bit about, there was a whole thing with Saviano in season 1, but yeah, I want to know, like, who is this guy really? And I think maybe we don't really know who he is, and maybe we'll find out towards the end of the season.